going. These are two very experienced head coaches. Lewis Clark State is coached by Brian Orr, and Ginger High Colvin is the head coach of Campbellsville University, each spending 10 or more years, 20 years in the case of Brian Orr at Lewis Clark State. Before we get this one going, we will pause for our national anthem on the NAIA network. And our national anthem being performed here at the Tyson Event Center's Fleet Farm Arena ahead of a full day of action. 4 games in the round of 16. We will have our quarterfinals set by the time this day of basketball is over. But before that, we've got the 4 games, and we start with Campbellsville and Lewis Clark State. Let's take a look at our starting lineups here. First for the number 14 seed and number 22nd rated Lewis Clark State Warriors under head coach Brian Orr, 20th year as the head coach of Lewis Clark State. Starting lineup for the Warriors looks like this. It's a 5'8" senior guard from Catholic, Washington. That's Peyton Souvenir, averaging 8.5 points, 4 rebounds. 5'10" junior guard from Brookings Harbor, Oregon is Abby Farmer, averaging 8.5 points, 2 rebounds. 5'9" redshirt senior guard from Hermiston, Oregon. That is Jansen Edmiston. Edmiston, 10.5 points a game, 4 rebounds. 6'2" senior forward from Kashmir, Washington is Abby Johnson. 13 points a game, 6 rebounds for the senior forward Abby Johnson. And rounding out the lineup is the third-team All-American last year, 6'0" senior forward from Columbia Falls, Montana. That is Kiara Burlage. Burlage averaging 17 points, 7 rebounds a game. Definitely the one to watch for Lewis Clark State. For the Campbellsville Tigers, under 14th year head coach Ginger High Colvin. And starting lineup for Campbellsville looks like this. A 5'7" junior guard from London, Kentucky. That is Madison Shepard. Shepard with 6.5 points, 3 rebounds a ball game. 5'7" sophomore guard from Glasgow, Kentucky is Bailey Pedigo. Pedigo averaging 4.5 points, 2.5 rebounds. 5'8" redshirt senior guard from Scottsville, Kentucky is Savannah Gregory. Gregory averaging 13 points, 5 rebounds a ball game. 5'8" redshirt sophomore forward from Byrdstown, Tennessee is Courtney Pritchett. Pritchett averaging 8.5 points, 4 rebounds. And to round out the lineup is the 6'0" senior guard from Lawrenceburg, Kentucky. That is Sammy Rogers. Rogers averaging 15 points a game, 5 rebounds for Campbellsville University. Taking on Lewis Clark State here on the NAIA network. And Steve, you look at these two teams, they like to shoot the 3, but it might take some time to get adjusted. We'll see how things get going here and to start the game.
Well, like every game, you got to get the inside going to get the outside open. So that's probably what we're going to look for here for a little bit until at least everybody gets their feet under them and gets that shooting background adjusted.
And we are tipped off. Lewis Clark State takes the opening tip off of the hands of Abby Johnson. The Warriors open up play here on the Friday edition of the NAIA Women's Basketball National Tournament. A traveling violation off the entry pass to Burlage, and Campbellsville gets the first turnover of the ball game.
Well, the one thing about it, the Warriors, they definitely have the height advantage on the inside. We'll see how they're able to capitalize on that as the game goes on.
Here in the corner is Shepard and gives it back out to Gregory. They swing it back to Shepard, bounces it into Pedigo, one dribble. Out to the right side, a kick out to the corner. Three is up and strong, but the putback off the left side is good for Sammy Rogers, and the Tigers take the first lead.
Rogers was able to come in on the backside, get that weak side rebound, and put it right back up and in.
So here comes Lewis Clark State the other way as Farmer gives it down to the corner. Burlage backs it out off a deflection. Warriors trying to work it around the perimeter. Farmer gives it back out to Souvenir. High post, pull-up jumper, splashes in for Abby Johnson.
Abby Johnson did a good job keeping that ball above her head and going right back up with it. 6'2" and a velvet soft touch from the outside for the wing.
In the 3 versus 14 matchup, we are tied at 2 apiece. Pedigo tried to dish it across the paint. They kick it back out. A straight-on 3 is a little less for Sammy Rogers. Here comes Lewis Clark State as Edmiston gives it out to Souvenir. Crossover dribble, kicks it out into the corner, back to the free throw line where the pass is swatted toward the half-court stripe. It stays with Lewis Clark State. They try to back it out. It finds Souvenir, sets her feet, a off-balance 3s off the front of the rim.
Great defense that time by Campbellsville. They were able to get their hand in there, and Gregory doing a good job ball hawking. She got her hand on about 3 passes and deflected them each time.
So Pedigo stands at the top of the key, trying to work it inside, but has to back it out to Gregory. First team All-Mid-South selection this year, Gregory. And give it down to the block. Pritchett gives it back to a cutting Rogers, who lays it in.
Nice little give and go that time, and it really was effective. A good drive, good penetration, and finishing strong at the hoop.
Trying a double-team trap. They can't catch the Warriors, and now Burlage bounces it out to Souvenir. Pull-up jumper from the elbow. Bounces short for Johnson. And the Tigers work it the other way. Here's Gregory in the corner, and Campbellsville tries to take a 2-possession lead. Pritchett at the high post. Out to Pedigo. Crosses over her dribble to her left. Back to the corner. 3 for Shepard is strong. And it is Farmer with the rebound. Edmiston. Back to her on the wing. She skips it cross court. Dangerous pass, but they found the target. Now Johnson, pass deflected back to her. Out to Souvenir. 3 spins in and out.
Well, I tell you, Campbellsville's defense right now is very solid. They're doing a great job getting hands in the face and not giving any open looks.
Here's a transition triple, and Sammy Rogers hits it.
Rogers just able to square up at the top of the key and knock that one down. Good looking shot.
Now the other way, Souvenir catches the defense napping a little bit and gets fouled with a floater attempt, and so Souvenir will go to the line to shoot 2.
Yeah, Peyton did a good job of just taking that ball strong at the hoop. She drew the defense in, knew she was going to get contact, still was able to go up with it, draw the contact, get to the free throw line, and try and get some points for her team.
You saw Gregory kind of come across the arm there on the shot deflection attempt, and now Campbellsville subs in 5 new players. A full line change for the Tigers and Coach Ginger High Colvin. So the free throws upcoming for Peyton Souvenir. First free throw off the rim doesn't fall in. Souvenir was an honorable mention All-Frontier Conference pick as a freshman. Lewis Clark State in the Frontier Conference until this season when they joined the Cascade Collegiate Conference in the sport of women's basketball. She hits the second, and Campbellsville University leads by 4. Here come the Tigers with their brand new lineup. And it's Lauren Lee who gets it across the timeline to the top of the key. They give it to the high post. A turnaround 12-footer is a little short from Sarah Sutton. And Lewis Clark State goes the other way, trying to work it quickly. Edmiston has it poked out of her hands for the moment. Skips it out to the corner. Farmer's 3, in and out. And that rebound is tracked down by McGeorge.
You know, and it's not like the Warriors aren't getting good looks. They're getting some good looks at the basket. In fact, they've had a couple of them that have gone about halfway down and then rattled out.
Lee bounces it to Faith Lake. Pulls up from 10 and banks it home.
I like the way Campbellsville's attacking the hoop. They constantly keep driving in the middle of the lane. They're trying to find. You almost had a pass right there.
We got back into the action again.
You know, Nelly on the other side over there, he didn't flinch. I don't even know if he saw it or not.
Well, yours truly and one of our other commentators, Mr. Wilson, did get pelted with a ball once yesterday. So we're I think, a little accustomed to it at this point.
People like throwing things at Nelly.
Campbellsville turns it over, and Lewis Clark State gets the possession that they were robbed of with an errant pass prior. Here's Souvenir on the baseline to the free throw line. This goes to Burlage, kicks it out. A deep three from Edmiston, and it's short, but a foul on the rebound will go against Campbellsville.
A little action down underneath the basket. Two young ladies got tangled up down there. The official right on top of it to make the call.
And they got Lexi Lake. No, you're not seeing double on your TV monitor. Faith and Lexi Lake are identical twins as Burlage misses a three strong. Both juniors for the Tigers as Lee gives it off to Sutton. Traveled through the defender, and Lewis Clark State gets the ball back.
They're doing a good job right now of forcing turnovers. And some of these turnovers are excuse me, because their defense is so solid, they're really doing a good job of flashing into the lanes. They're getting their hands out in the passing lanes, and they're causing these the players to do things that they're not comfortable with.
Pritchett and Rogers get back into the ball game for Campbellsville. Sutton and McGeorge check out. Dangerous pass. Tried to go through too many hands from Souvenir. It was last touched by Burlage. She argues that Campbellsville touched it last. Unless it's Tiger basketball.
I think I agree with her. That ball went through about 5 different set of hands.
Well, Campbellsville gets the ball back. They're up 6. And with under 5 to play in quarter one. Winner gets either Indiana Wesleyan or Southeastern, two perennial powers here in this building at the NAIA Women's Basketball Tournament. Here's Lauren Lee with 10 on the shot clock. Bounces it into Pritchard. She goes to work, backs it out. Rogers for 3. That's short. And it is Johnson with another rebound.
Straight on look at it. Just couldn't get that ball to roll over the rim for her.
Burlage has her pass taken away. And here comes Sammy Rogers. Team's leading scorer at 15 points a night. Lee down to the corner for Faith Lake. Out to Pritchard. Gives it out to Lexi Lake. Back to Pritchett. Good ball movement by the Tigers. Lee throws it away just as soon as we say that. A overthrown pass of Faith Lake gives Lewis Clark State possession of the basketball.
Just a little bit too high on that pass, and otherwise they were doing a good job of moving the basketball around. They were really trying to find that open shot, just couldn't quite find it at the end.
Starting 5 is back on the floor for Campbellsville. Lewis Clark State also makes a substitution. Maddie Holm is into the ball game, and Kiara Burlage checks out. So Lewis Clark State trails by 6. 4 minutes left to play in the quarter. And here come the Warriors. Souvenir kicks it out to the wing. A step around 3 by Farmer comes a little short. And Pedigo with the rebound, trying to transition the other way. Pedigo down the baseline. Backs it out to the wing. Tip pass out of bounds off of Souvenir. It stays with Campbellsville.
That's great hustle by Peyton. She was almost down the block and then recovered nicely and got all the way back out and got a hand in there to knock that ball away.
So they get it into Pritchett, and Campbellsville tries to work things on the offense. Low-scoring first quarter, kind of like you alluded to in the pregame. Each team trying to get used to the Tyson Event Center. Campbellsville almost throws it away. 5 seconds left for Gregory. Pedigo, middle of the paint, floaters up and strong. Rebound tapped out, and Shepard retains possession. Great job by the Tigers. Here's Pedigo. Trying to dribble around the defender. Gregory dumps it down to Pritchett. Back out to Gregory. All alone from 3. That one's strong. She got her own board again. Back-to-back offensive rebounds for Campbellsville. And they can't leave without a couple of points.
Right there was a perfect example of, for every young player, why you follow your shot. She got her own rebound.
Pritchett Lost the dribble. It's fought for in the corner. Diving toward the sideline. We've got a jump ball, and the possession stays with Campbellsville. Only 2 seconds on the shot clock, though, for the Tigers.
Well, they do like to work that shot clock. There's been 3 different possessions where they've taken that all the way down to 1 before they've got that shot off.
So Pedigo will inbound in the corner. Time for a quick pass, maybe a dribble, and then a shot. She lobs it out to Rogers. Pulls up from 15, missed it strong. Another offensive rebound thanks to Savannah Gregory. Campbellsville has 3-0 boards on this possession.
Son of a good team. When you're going after those offensive rebounds, the long ones on those 3-pointers are going to kick long.
Under 10 on the shot clock. Gregory back to Pedigo. Drives, dances through the defense, lays it up and gets fouled. And so Campbellsville will get opportunities at the free throw line with Bailey Pedigo.
Now you got to be opportunistic. You were able to get back 3 or 4 offensive rebounds in that possession to keep the possession alive for you. And now you're going to the free throw line with that clock stopped. Get yourself an opportunity to catch your breath because they really have been hustling and playing hard out there. But also the opportunity to put some points on the board.
So Pedigo, a 78% free throw shooter, is going to the line to shoot 2. 1,300 career points in her prep career at Barron County High School in Kentucky, and the first is up and in. Campbellsville the first to double digits. Pedigo's second free throw. She only averages 4.5 points a game, but trying to get herself a couple of points here, and she does. It's an 8-point Campbellsville lead. Lewis Clark State really works it quickly. Edmiston tried to bounce it across the alley, but it gets kicked on its way there. So Lewis Clark State will retain possession.
Well, that's a great job of getting back on defense because they are definitely out in transition and ahead of the defense. Good recovery to be able to get back just to get a hand on that to knock it out of bounds.
Ashley McGeorge checks in for Campbellsville. The inbound comes from Farmer. And we've got a foul before the inbound. And we'll try it again. That foul goes on Campbellsville. That's the 3rd foul of the quarter for the Tigers. And Savannah Gregory was whistled for the foul, and immediately she checks out. They get it into the paint. Burlage goes up and scores off the glass.
That's a good job of looking that time. Burlage was wide open as she cut through the middle of the lane and was able to lay it off the glass.
Burlage, the team's leading scorer, hoping that is the first of many for Lewis Clark State College. They swing it around the right side. Campbellsville trying to get a bucket. Under 2 to play in the quarter. Faith Lake. They swing it around the right side for Shepard. Back out to the corner. A deep 3 from Sutton, and she connects.
Sutton got that ball and quickly got that out of her hands. That was a very good quick release on the 3.
It's a 9-point Tiger lead as the Warriors try and get back into this one. At the high post, Johnson pulls up and a little short. Campbellsville gets the rebound and goes the other way with Bailey Pedigo. And she is fouled right away. A little body contact with Abby Farmer. Might have tried to reach in as well, and Campbellsville takes the inbound.
Campbellsville is all of a sudden finding another gear. They've really picked up the pace here. As far as defense goes, they've really done a good job of forcing turnovers, making sure that there's been a lot of one-and-dones on the offensive or defensive rebounding. And then offensively, they really do a good job of getting into that wheel and moving that ball around to find the open shot.
Campbellsville by 9. Pedigo. Tight defense by Souvenir. Great job. Down to the baseline pass to Sutton. Dumps it under the bucket. What a dish. And the finish by McGeorge gives an 11-point Tiger lead.
Sutton could have very easily taken that shot herself, but a nice extra pass, getting it down low, getting a better average shot, and they put it right up and in.
Campbellsville commits a foul in the backcourt as Bailey Pedigo gets whistled for it. The sophomore picks up her first, and that's 4 team fouls for Campbellsville. When you play in that press, Steve, you're going to have contact. You're going to end up with some of those.
Exactly. When you're playing aggressively on those presses, be it the half court or the full court press, there's a lot of times going to be contact. You just have to try and minimize it.
Holm cuts the paint and throws it over the top of Johnson out of bounds.
That's a good job defensively once again. They do a really good job of moving their feet, keeping those hands straight up in the air and not allowing them to see anything as far as getting into the passing lanes.
Campbellsville by 11, 56 seconds to play. Quarter number 1. Heidi Selman checks into the ball game for Abby Johnson for the side of Lewis Clark State. as it's walked up the floor by Lauren Lee, the freshman from Liberty, Kentucky. Bounces it to the baseline. Faith Lake for two, a bit strong. An offensive putback by McGeorge doesn't go. Gets her on board, puts it up through contact and finishes.
Tell you, McGeorge is a good player. She's really strong. She hustles. She went after 2 offensive rebounds. Couldn't get the first one to go, but stayed right with it and got the second one to go down for her.
And we see Campbellsville again commit another foul in the backcourt. Lexi Lake, the perpetrator. And we've got 2 free throws here for Lewis Clark State. So it'll be Kiara Burlage going to the line to shoot 2. Burlage, an All-American last year and the Cascade Collegiate Conference Player of the Year this year for the teams playing the winter season, as the first free throw is up and in for Burlage. Was also first team All-Frontier Conference last year when LCSC was still in the Frontier. And she rattles in both free throws. It's an 11-point Campbellsville lead with 30 seconds to play in the first quarter. And Lauren Lee dribbles it up the floor. Stifling defense from Souvenir. Trying to get free. Lee stuck with it. Down to the corner. They bounce it in. McGeorge, hook shot. Too strong, but a foul.
She dipped that shoulder and leaned in with it, and the official right there to make the right call. It was an offensive foul. If you drop that shoulder and lean in to force the contact, you're going to get called for that charge.
So now Lewis Clark State has a short opportunity, but still one to try and get it under double digits as they trail by 11. See what the Warriors can come up with. As Burlage gets it across the half-court stripe. And with 5 to play in the quarter, got to get something. Burlage for 3. It's strong. Rebound by Campbellsville with 1 second. They do not take a shot. Through 1 quarter, the 3-seed Campbellsville has an 18-7 lead over the 14-seed Lewis Clark State. We'll take a timeout. We'll be back with second quarter action from the Tyson Events Center, Fleet Farm Arena. You're watching the NAIA Women's Basketball National Tournament here on the NAIA Network.
Yeah, Grandma.
Getting a word in edgewise with Grandma isn't always easy.
Oh, yeah, your check.
Depositing her birthday check from your phone, on the other hand,
Of course I deposited the check.
surprisingly easy.
Yeah. It's in there. Yeah.
Mobile check deposit with the Great Southern mobile app. Easy. Download the app today.
And we welcome you back to the Tyson Events Center's Fleet Farm Arena. Daniel Versteg alongside Steve Bates. We're through 1 quarter of action in this 3-seed versus 14-seed matchup. Campbellsville University leads Lewis Clark State College 18-7. As we take a look at the first quarter stats, Bates, 2 things will stick out to you. Campbellsville's rebounds and Lewis Clark State's field goal percentage.
Exactly, and it's that rebounding total that I think is one of the most impressive because they're really hustling, going after those boards both offensively and defensively.
A nice dish somehow found Burlage off the hands of Edmiston, but unfortunately Burlage a little too far into the bucket. As Campbellsville tries to extend their 11-point advantage. A pass that gets kicked by Edmiston will stay with Campbellsville. Edmiston checks out. Abby Farmer checks in for Lewis Clark State.
You know, one thing about both these teams, they like to go deep. Both these teams go about 10 players deep, so that's going to be a key advantage. Which bench can really come in and help out?
And that's what we've seen all tournament long. Whoever's bench can impact the game the most ends up moving on in most cases. Here at the free throw line, Pritchard. That one got deflected from behind. And Lewis Clark State works it the other way, down 11. Farmer trying to change that here for the Warriors. Gives it to Souvenir. Back to Farmer. Playing catch. A 3. Up and strong. Burlage with an offensive rebound. Dribbles through the defense. Puts it up. It gets denied by Rogers.
Rogers did a nice job of just getting a hand up there just to tip that ball. You don't have to try and swat it 3 rows deep. Just get a hand on it and get it tipped to a teammate.
Bailey Pedigo a little too strong with that pass, looking for Madison Shepard under the bucket. And this will go back to Lewis Clark State. 11-point Campbellsville lead. They are led in scoring by Sammy Rogers with 7. She also leads them in rebounds with 5. And for the Warriors, it's Kiara Burlage who has 4. Ooh, that was close.
Very close.
Souvenir took a step over the half-court stripe and then, I guess, didn't come back.
Well, as most referees will tell you, it's a 3-point advantage
Right.
that they look for in that situation.
Driving in right of the paint, and the foul is called on the rebound. It is called on, no, I believe, Campbellsville stepped out of bounds with the rebound. So the Warriors take over.
On that non-call, the over and back, what they look for is where the ball is. The ball stayed in the backcourt, so there's really no reason to call over in the back in that situation.
Burlage can't quite finish. That was a pretty pass from Abby Farmer. And now Campbellsville works it the other way. As Pedigo bounces it to the left side for Shepard. Down to the post. Back out. They swing it top of the key. Pedigo. Under the bucket. Pritchard gives it to a cutting Rogers. It got deflected to her, but Rogers sticks with it and scores.
Rogers is a determined player. When she gets her hands on that basketball, it's going to go in one way or the other.
It's a 13-point Campbellsville lead with 8 minutes left in the half. Lewis Clark State trying to get back into this one. Souvenir pulls up from 8. Missed it short. And it is Madison Shepard with the rebound. Here comes Pedigo. Bounces it left corner. Faith Lake. Out to Shepard. To Pedigo. And Campbellsville sets up the offense midway through the shot clock. Pedigo skips it to the left side for Lake. Rogers tried to funnel it through too many defenders, and Lewis Clark State will take it the other way. Farmer to Burlage, left alone from 3, banks it home.
She runs down the court with a little smile on her face. She thought about the 3, looked away, and then all of a sudden realized, well, nobody's coming out on me, and then the bank was open.
Yeah, it's 3 whether you swish it or you bank it.
That's right.
You'll take it. As Burlage kicks a pass out of bounds. Campbellsville checks in 5 new players once again, including Savannah Gregory back on the floor. Lewis Clark State trails by 10. 7 minutes to play at halftime. Here is Campbellsville. They tried to funnel it in. They get it to Gregory. To the right side. A step back 3 comes up short from Sutton. Offensive rebound, though, and Gregory bounces it off the heel and in.
One thing about Campbellsville, they follow their shots. They don't just stand around and watch and hope that it goes in. They're going to follow it and put it back.
Gregory, one of the top players for Campbellsville the last few years, a 3-time Mid-South Conference pick. And there's another 3, and it's Sarah Sutton sending us into a timeout. 25-10 Campbellsville.
Sarah Sutton was in the right place at the right time. A nice kick-out pass. No one really rotated out on her, and she knocks that down easily.
It's been a great first half so far for Campbellsville, as we will take a look at the stats once again from the first quarter. I mean, we talked about it briefly. Unfortunately, it has gotten a little bit worse for Lewis Clark State. The rebounding differential, huge for Campbellsville. And when Lewis Clark State's shooting only under 20% from the field, that's worrisome.
Yeah, and it's that rebounding total is the reason for it, because a lot of those are coming on the offensive side of things, and they're getting second chance putbacks. You got to start boxing out, and you're going to have to really look, because on those long 3-pointers, it's going to be a kick out on that for rebounds. Their guards are doing a good job of staying about midway, and they're able to come up with those.
Yeah, unfortunately, the gap has grown. Lewis Clark State is under 17% from the field, and Campbellsville's at 20 rebounds. Lewis Clark State at 6. But here come the Warriors, hoping they get a little pep talk from Brian Orr as Burlage misses a jumper strong. And Campbellsville goes the other way. Here's Gregory in the corner. They give it out top of the key to Lee. Down in the paint. Working it. McGeorge gets fouled. That is going to go on Abby Johnson, and McGeorge will shoot 2.
You know, I'm watching McGeorge post up down there, and she really does a good job of making herself get really big. And what I mean by that is she gets a wide base down there, and she keeps that defender on her hip, and she knows where that defender is at all times. She really works it down the post. When she does get that ball, she's either going to get herself on the free throw line or she's going to get that basket one way or the other.
Yeah, you could see on that replay using her left hand not to push away, but to kind of feel where Abby Johnson
She's
is.
trying to feel where that defender is. If she doesn't feel it on her hips, she's using that hand to use as a detector as well.
She hits the first, and McGeorge hits the second as well. The all-time leading rebounder at Monroe County High School from Tompkinsville, Kentucky, showing why she is having success at Campbellsville. It's a 17-point Tiger lead. A nice dish under the bucket, and Abby Johnson gets rewarded with a score.
That's a great job of keeping the eyes up and looking at all times that time by Farmer.
So the deficit cut to 15. Lewis Clark State still with work to do. As this is Lexi Lake, the three, up and good for the junior from Harrodsburg.
Man, right now they're starting to feel it for that three-point line. They're definitely getting used to the shooting background.
2-time second-team Mid-South pick for Lexi Lake, and she hits her first three of the ball game. And Abby Johnson loses the dribble on the baseline. It is Tiger basketball.
Unforced error right there, and Campbellsville has done such a good job of taking advantage of turnovers. We'll see what happens here, but they do such a good job defensively. I love their press because they are constantly moving, talking, switching on screens, and that makes things happen.
Campbellsville by 18. Tigers making their 29th appearance at the NAIA National Tournament. A long jumper comes up short. They give it out to the top of the key. Sutton tries again from three, and this time a little short. And Lewis Clark State goes the other way, as this is Maddie Holm out to the left side for Farmer. Bounces it out to Holm. Somebody's got to be open with a double team. They can't quite find her. Edmiston sized up by Gregory. Edmiston to the block. It got deflected. A great defense from McGeorge. And here comes Lee, middle of the paint. Shot fake, gives it out to Gregory. Pull up from 10, and it swishes in.
Watch this Campbellsville team on defense. Every time that ball is passed, somebody's constantly getting a hand on it. They really do a good job defensively of getting in that stance, getting those hands out, pointing those guns, and getting into the passing lanes.
Driving in, we've got a foul. Count the bucket for Abby Johnson, and she goes to the line for an and one.
Johnson did a good job of taking it at the defense that time. It looked like they had the good defensive positioning down on the block, but she was able to get in, fade away, but still draw some contact.
And Abby Johnson will get rewarded with a three-point play. Member of the 1,000-point club at Kashmir. She's already been in a national tournament before, was part of an Adidas National Championship club team, the Northwest Blazers, when she was in high school. So she knows these big stages here in basketball. Fortunately misses the free throw, and now it is Campbellsville basketball. 18-point Tiger lead as, a kick ball from Kiara Burlage hits the stanchion and came ricocheting back. Our official on the baseline had to keep an eye out for that bounce.
Those are the worst ones for the officials. I was coaching a game one time where I had an official take one right between the eyes on something like that.
Not pleasant. Faith Lake, pretty pleasant there with a shot off the glass. Now the other way. A good drive by Edmiston. She can't finish. And the Tigers go the other way. 20-point Tiger lead and an offensive foul called. Lauren Lee lowers the shoulder and the Warriors go the other way.
Lee not real happy with the call, but again, being aggressive and then lowering that shoulder. We get the advantage of looking at the replay.
Yeah, little trucking.
Yep, a little bit of a dip there of that shoulder, just enough for the official to say, nope, we're going to go the other way with it.
So Lewis Clark State gets the ball down 20. Again, the winner takes on either Southeastern of Florida or Indiana Wesleyan. And whoever wins this game will play Saturday night, tomorrow night at 6 o'clock. Of course, every game is live streamed here on the NAIA network. Souvenir down under the bucket, throws it wide of Burlage, out of bounds, and it is Campbellsville basketball.
There was a case where Burlage made the right cut, and there was a nice pass, and it looked like everything was going to work smoothly, but someone got a hand in there and just enough to block her vision, and Burlage not able to come up with it.
So Campbellsville, the 3 seed. Played second fiddle in the Mid-South most of the year to Thomas More, but now being able to show what the Mid-South's got here at the national tournament. As Pritchett drives, pulls up, missed it short, and Johnson with the rebound, trying to run in space is Lewis Clark State. Edmiston loses the dribble, a loose ball picked up by Madison Shepard. And the Tigers force another turnover. That is 9 turnovers for Lewis Clark State. Here is Faith Lake. Swings it down to the corner for Madison Shepard. Pritchett travels. Little shuffle of the feet, I guess, and Lewis Clark State takes over.
It was just far enough away from us that I couldn't pick that up with the naked eye, but we'll be able to hopefully see it on replay here. But the officials standing right there. This officiating crew's done a very good job here this afternoon, because when you don't notice them, that means they're doing their job right.
Exactly, and you know you got some of the country's best here at the national tournament. Burlage gives it off. A drive by Souvenir. Pulls up from the elbow a little strong. And the shooting woes unfortunately continue for Lewis Clark State, but Lee goes coast to coast. Lays it up and gets fouled. Lauren Lee diving head first on the baseline and will go to the line to shoot 2.
I think Lauren felt like a pinball that time. She got ricocheted off one player, ran into another one.
And Lauren Lee took one hit, took a second hit, and then hit the deck. So 2 free throws for Lauren Lee, the freshman out of Liberty, Kentucky, trying to make her mark at the free throw line. She's a 61% free throw shooter this season. Only averaging about 4 points a ball game, but seeing some pretty solid minutes here at the national tournament. And the first swishes in.
You know what's great is not only are we playing basketball here in Sioux City after last year when I was on the call, that last game that was the last we saw, but there's fans here, and that's what is that awesome. It's about 1,700 that they can get in here for this tournament, and there's a very nice crowd on hand here for this morning, or this first round game of our Friday session.
Considering the distance, I mean, Campbellsville to Lewis Clark State is from each other is over 2,000 miles away from each other, and then you split the difference, that's still almost 1,000 miles to Sioux City. So very well traveled, these two teams' fan bases. Is a foul on the rebound off the missed shot from Johnson. And Campbellsville takes over. But yeah, I mean, a pretty solid showing, of course, considering COVID and considering distance.
Exactly. A little bit interesting is tonight's session when the Morningside Mustangs, the local team, the team that you and I cover, that gets here tonight, see what kind of fan base we get for the hometown team.
And Concordia, just down the road, a couple hours away from Sioux City. Yeah, this is going to be a fun night of basketball as we conclude the round of 16 here at the Tyson Event Center. Here's Pedigo sizing up her defender. Some good defense as Rachel Schroeder gets into the ballgame for the first time for Lewis Clark State. Shepard, oh, what a pass, but the finish comes up short for Sutton. I don't know how that got there. That was great vision by Shepard. It's a little off balance with the shot.
That ball had a little spin on it, too, because it kind of did a little curve into her.
Here's Burlage. Nice touch to Abby Johnson, who lays it in for 2.
Burlage does a nice job of keeping her head on a swivel that time to find the cutting Abby Johnson, who was wide open in the lane.
Leading scored and also a leading passer there for Lewis Clark State. And now the Tigers try to answer and extend their lead past 20 once more. Minute 20 to play in the first half, and an offensive foul called on the illegal pick by Bailey Pedigo. And Lewis Clark State will take over on offense. Pedigo checks out, and so does Sutton. So LCSC out of the Cascade Collegiate Conference. A 14-5 team trying to show a top seed what they are made of here. Unfortunately down by 20. Johnson tried to back it out, didn't get enough on that pass. And Pritchett works it the other way for Campbellsville. She gives it off to Lee, looking to swing it to the left side, and now finds Lexi Lake. Lee, the freshman guard, to the right side for Shepard. McGeorge swings it around. Another pass on a bounce to Shepard. Skips it out to Lee with 6 on the shot clock. Top of the key 3. Up and short from Lexi Lake. Rebound by the Warriors. And here comes Abby Farmer. Kicks it out to the corner, Schroeder. Skips it out, right corner, Edmiston. Dumps it under the bucket. Burlage off the bottom of the board. And going the other way is Lauren Lee. Campbellsville by 20 here in the first half. It's Shepard standing with it, and as the time winds down in the first half, Campbellsville will take the last look.
That's great clock management. They were on a fast break opportunity and then realized the time and pulled it right back out to run some clock.
Here comes Pritchard with 2. Dumps it underneath. McGeorge, as time expires, leaves it a little short. And we head to halftime. Our score, number 3 seed Campbellsville, 36, 14 seed Lewis Clark State out of Idaho, 16. And the winner plays Southeastern or Indiana Wesleyan. We will take a break. We'll come back and we'll have a recap of the first half. We'll break down some of the stats and much more of the first half of action. It's a 20-point Campbellsville lead. We'll be back after these messages. You're watching the NAIA Women's Basketball National Tournament on the NAIA Network.
Has what you need with garden seeds and supplies, plus bulk and bag grass seed and fertilizers to get ready for spring. There's durable workwear and casual clothing for men and for women, plus footwear for work and recreation. Baumgars is your DeWalt headquarters with power tools and yard tools, including the 20 to 60 volt Flex Volt system. And don't forget the broad selection of pet foods and the supplies you need. More than a farm store, Baumgars is your four-season store.
Get ready for more. Introducing Hy-Vee Plus. Get a Hy-Vee Plus premium membership for just $99 a year and get fuel savings every time you shop in-store and online. Plus, exclusive deals and offers every month. Plus, you can call our Red Line hotline day or night for anything you need. Plus, free standard delivery and free express pickup. Plus, a personal online shopper. With Hy-Vee Plus, our plus equals more. Sign up today.
Subaru has experienced sales increases year over year for the last 10 consecutive years. Not surprising when you consider all the praise, all the accolades, all the awards. It goes on and on, from the most trusted brand to the top brand for residual values, top safety picks, up and down the entire model lineup. There's absolutely no bad news, folks. Come in and see why the Subaru lineup has enjoyed such tremendous success. How could I be so sure? Because I'm Jensen. Thanks.
Life is still about being in motion and moving forward. Life doesn't stop for back pain, a knee problem, or a nagging shoulder. So don't live with it. Treat it safely at CNOS. We offer virtual visits and, if surgery is needed, the protection of a safe environment. Now is not the time to suffer. Feel good about moving forward and even better about your options. CNOS. treating you safely.
We're all looking for the chance to do more, explore more, create more. And that's exactly what we offer our students at Thomas More. A truly inspired education that opens a universe of opportunity. By immersing students in the very best learning environment, we give them the opportunity to become the people they were created to be, to live a fuller life, to become thinkers, innovators, conquerors of the status quo, to make it more. Thomas More University.
We're a general construction firm. Been around since 1960. Started off as a mason and have been doing that now for over 40 years. We're fortunate we got our DNA on a lot of buildings in Sioux City. A lot of people have put their trust in us, and hopefully we've performed well for them. Our goal is always to try and give people the best product at the best price and on time, and we're actually able to do that because we self-perform a lot of our work. We have upwards of 55 employees, 40 people out in the field. We do our own concrete. We also do our own carpentry. Our subcontractors handle pretty much everything else in terms of mechanical, electrical, plumbing, those types of things. And our goal is always to give our client the best product at the best price, and we feel like we can accomplish that just with the number of experienced staff that we have on hand here at LML Builders. We have many, many people that are upwards of 20, 25, and 30 years of experience, and so that really helps us out a lot. They understand our culture, they understand what our expectations are, and it works pretty good.
And we welcome you back to the Tyson Event Center's Fleet Farm Arena here in downtown Sioux City. Daniel Versteeg, Steve Bates with you at halftime, where Campbellsville University leads Lewis Clark State College 36-16. And again, the story is the same verse here in the second quarter. Lewis Clark State, again, the inability to hit shots, and Campbellsville's ability to pull down rebounds and go the other way and score, Steve.
You have almost 30 rebounds in the first half. Mm-hmm. That's a very good day at the office. That's hustling after the basketball. That's being in the right position. That's keeping your opponent out of the lane. Keep making sure that you're getting that one and done and getting out and going on offense. And then points in the paint. That's very close, but still it's in the Tigers' court there too, so they're doing their job. They're really doing a good job rebounding. They're getting out, they're running. Their defense has been so solid here early this afternoon that right now, and unfortunately for Lewis and Clark, 11.1% from the three-point line. Mm-hmm. That hurts, and that's just the inability to get used to the background down here and be able to get those shots down. Now we'll see if they come back out in the second half and can get out of that slump, because like we always tell shooters, there's only one way for you to get out of a slump, and that's keep shooting.
Right, exactly. One thing, again, you look at Lewis Clark State's column, and there's not really a whole lot that sticks out there as a bright spot. But if you look on the other side for Campbellsville, the Warriors have forced Campbellsville into 10 turnovers. Yes. So defensively, there's something there for Lewis Clark State to say, hey, we're doing the right things on defense. We just got to turn it into points.
Exactly. There's something there to build on. And as a coach, you're always looking for that at halftime when you're down big. You're always looking for things that, hey, we can turn this into a positive here in the locker room. I don't want to be negative. I want to get them fired up. I want to get them back out there and tell them that they're still in this game. You go in there and you start being negative and screaming and cussing and yelling and throwing things. That tends to backfire on you and puts them even further into a funk. So that's a definite positive that I'm sure that the coaches are in there building on right now.
Yeah, well, if there's one thing Coach Brian Orr knows at Lewis Clark State, it is how to win. He is currently 10th on the NAIA active coaching wins list, 480 career wins at Lewis Clark State. So and these are two really historic programs. I mean, I mentioned it a little bit in the first half, but This is the 40th NAIA National Women's Basketball Tournament. Again, some have split divisions, but for the most part, there's been one division and then the two divisions. Campbellsville has been to 29 NAIA National Tournaments, almost 3/4 of the tournaments. And Lewis Clark State's been to over 50%. They've been to 23 tournaments. So these two teams, no strangers to the big stage, but unfortunately, Campbellsville is the one that's, unfortunately for Lewis Clark State, Campbellsville is the one that's, out in front big.
Exactly, and they're right now they're not letting the big stage make them nervous. They're playing their own style of game, just like they're playing on their home court. And when you're relaxed and you're comfortable, that tends to make your game go into a very, very good flow when you hit the court.
Some of the individual numbers that we'll take a look at. Lewis Clark State is led by, well, two players. Abby Johnson has 8 points. Kiara Burlage has 7. The only other player to score is Peyton Souvenir. She has hit a free throw. So definitely if you're Lewis Clark State, you want to get some other players into your offense. Johnson and Burlage obviously are not going to be carrying you this entire ball game. You need some help.
Exactly. You got to have some players step up. And, we looked at it, both teams like to play 10 players, and their averages are all very good that come off the bench. So somebody's got to be that player that's going to come off that bench determined to try and help get a spark going here and get more people involved in the offense.
Well, gosh, you want to look at bench scoring, Batesy. That's telling the story. Lewis Clark State yet to score off their bench. Campbellsville, heck, they're scoring more points off their bench than they are their starting lineup, 21 of their 36.
Sign of a good team, and I talk about it with you all the time when we do games together from Morningside. When your bench is good enough that they can come in and hold leads, that's one thing. But when they can come in and they can extend leads, that's the sign of a very good team.
Yeah, 8 different players have scored for Campbellsville. They're led by Sammy Rogers, who does start. She's 1 point and 1 rebound away from a double-double already. 9 points, 9 boards for Sammy Rogers. There's 6 points each for Ashley McGeorge and Sarah Sutton, both of those coming off the bench for Campbellsville. And there's nobody with less than 2 of the scorers. There is nobody with less than 2 points for Campbellsville University. So a very good half for the Tigers, and for Lewis Clark State, gotta pick up the offense. That's the main thing. 22% obviously is not going to win you a whole lot of games.
That's not going to get you to the next round. So you got to try and pick that up in the second half here, and just try and relax. Try and just get back into your game and not be affected by what the other team is doing.
The winner gets either 6 seed Southeastern or 11 seed Indiana Wesleyan. Right now the Fire warming up. The Wildcats were warming up there just a little bit ago. And that game will tip off here at the top of the 3 o'clock hour. 3 o'clock. We'll have the coverage here on the NAIA Network. And again, coming up tonight, you're going to want to stick around as number 4 seed Marion takes on number 13 seed Concordia at 6 o'clock. And then the hometown Morningside Mustangs take on the 12 seed St. Francis. That'll be an 8 o'clock tip-off. And then it is quarterfinal action here from the Tyson Events Center coming up tomorrow. And then Monday, the semifinals get underway. Let's get another break in. We'll come back and we'll break down our keys to success in the second half. Campbellsville and Lewis Clark State will tell you each what each team needs to do to have success in the second half. It's 36-16. Campbellsville will be back with second half action after this. You're watching the NAIA Women's Basketball National Tournament on the NAIA Network.
Let's be threshers. And notice I didn't say hard-working threshers, or honest threshers, or exceptional threshers, for there are no other kind. There are only threshers, and threshers are what we are. Be a thresher, and then we'll be ready for anything. We'll be ready for the exam, the game, the interview, the job, the family, the sorrows and the joys, whatever life throws at us, for we are threshers.
United Sports Academy is now open in North Sioux City. The beautiful sports facility is located in the former Gateway Building, now known as the CNOS Fieldhouse. What is the United Sports Academy? It's the regional destination for youth volleyball, basketball, developmental and elite programs, club teams, camps, lessons, and tournaments, all led by a staff of highly skilled coaches and trainers. United Sports Academy, the area's premier athletic training and competition facility. To learn more, go to usportsacad.com.
Campbellsville helped me to get a job, get my master's, to prepare myself for the world. It offers students a tremendous amount of opportunity to get real-world experience.
We see Christian students, non-Christian students. We see people from every walk of life.
It's such a good place to be.
It kind of reminds me of home. Your teachers actually look out for you here. You feel invited as soon as you walk in.
You're not going to find any better place to help students achieve what they want.
Diverse and inclusive involvement opportunities are abundant at Clark University. Discover your perfect fit in one of our 20-plus student clubs and organizations or one of our 21 athletic teams. Here we are a family. We are one Clark, one community.
First Premier Bank has deep roots in South Dakota. Our ag bankers are homegrown experts committed to helping you find the right financial solution for your operation. With extensive experience in the industry, First Premier offers flexible options and local decisions designed to help you today and for generations to come. Find a First Premier Ag banker nearest you at firstpremier.com/ag. First Premier Bank, investing in your growth. Member FDIC.
Athletic trainers take action. They're passionate healthcare professionals who impact lives by helping patients feel and perform at their best. From immediate care to injury prevention and return to play rehab, athletic trainers make a difference. Your career starts with Northwestern College's Masters in Athletic Training program. Experience a close community, invested faculty, and hands-on training in exciting settings. You belong at Northwestern because Raiders stand out.
And we welcome you back to the Tyson Event Center here in downtown Sioux City. Daniel Versteeg, Steve Bates with you. It's halftime. Campbellsville up 36-16. All right, if you look at things as we get ready to start the second half, Steve, what does each team need to do to have success?
Well, let's start with Campbellsville first of all. Right now, you just want to keep playing the way you've been playing. You want to get that pressure defense, keep that going. Rebounding-wise, there's no way that you're going to let up in that category. You get the foot in the throat, you got to go for it. You got to go for the knockout punch first 5 minutes of the second half. On the other side, you just got to relax. You got to go out. You got to become aggressive. You got to attack the hoop. You got to try and get offense no matter however you can. Yep. The three-point shot's not there right now. You got to open up the inside to get the outside game going. That's always been my rule, so that's what they need to do.
Yeah, Lewis Clark State has been able to score in the paint in this ball game. 8 of their 16 have come in the paint, but yeah, it's their ability to get things going otherwise that has been a struggle for Lewis Clark State. As a quick foul already in the ball game for the Warriors, but it's Campbellsville basketball to start second half action. And the Tigers are looking to run away with this one here in the second half of the ballgame. Here is Shepard off the pass from Gregory. Dribbles to the right side. They bounce it to the baseline. Back to Gregory. And open two. A little strong. She gets her own board again. Lays it up a bit short. And the rebound taken by Souvenir. Sprinting up the floor. A kick out to the right side. Good shot fake by Farmer. Couldn't get open and then throws it to Campbellsville.
And there was a good defensive rotation. They were able to come in on the backside, get a hand on it, tip it away.
Pedigo with it, and Campbellsville off the turnover trying to get another bucket. And 7 points off of turnovers in the first half. Pedigo, little layup, gets denied by Abby Johnson. And it's Lewis Clark State basketball. Souvenir to the right corner. Step around, Farmer bounced it out. Souvenir Back to Farmer. Pass is deflected out of bounds by the Tigers. It stays with the Warriors.
And that's once again getting a hand in there, knocking it away was Gregory, just getting those hands in the passing lane. I think Johnson's the one that they really got to get going offensively for the Warriors, get her a little bit more involved offensively.
And the inbound comes from the wing. Yeah, Johnson's got 8 points in the ball game, and see if she can get something going again here in the half. A deep three is up and in from Souvenir.
That might be the spark they need right there, because Souvenir, with no doubt, no fear, took that three, knowing that if I miss this, it could be detrimental, but if I knock it down, it might get us going.
Here's a two the other way from Shepard, but the putback is up and in from Pritchett.
Pritchett's doing a good job. She was the one who got her hand in there defensively to knock that ball away in the last defensive series, and then a good job right there.
Farmer tried a touch pass. It bounces around, somehow finds Souvenir, and Lewis Clark State sets up their offense. Here on the wing, this is Farmer. Back to Souvenir. She thought about another three from the same spot, about 27 feet from the bucket. Here's Souvenir. She'll pull up from 30 plus, but missed that one a little short. Well, that might be a little step out of her range, but she was well out there from three.
That shows you right there. Team captain, she's trying to get something started here. She hits that first three-pointer and shows her teammates, we cannot have any fear.
Here is Campbellsville. Shepard backs it out to Pedigo. Bounced it to the baseline. Shepard feeds it into the paint. Pritchard back out to Gregory with 5. Drives to the block. Backs it out. Pedigo with 2. Runner in the paint. Up off the rim. Doesn't fall. Pritchard with another offensive rebound. Dished it into the paint. And the layup is up and strong from Pedigo. Rebound is taken by Burlage. And Lewis Clark State. Good pass to Souvenir. Back out. Right corner. Farmer's 3. Up and short. And the rebound is pulled down by Rogers.
So I want to see out of Farmer. She's passed up some opportunities to take shots, and I know she's looking to get it inside, but when you're open, you got to take the shot.
19-point Campbellsville lead, under 7 minutes to play in quarter 3. And we've got an offensive foul. Let's see, it was called on Pritchett, I believe. Yep, Courtney Pritchett picks up the foul. So it's Lewis Clark State basketball. And the inbound goes to Souvenir. Here comes Johnson up the floor. Back to Souvenir. Middle of the paint. Pulls up inside the free throw line. Missed it strong, but an offensive foul is called as Souvenir runs into the defender.
Pritchett doing it again. Coming up with a big charge that time. She's stepping up her game here to start the second half out.
And this is a bold play by Pritchett, too. You just had a foul called on you. Yep. If you take the contact the wrong way, you automatically pick up a second.
Yep.
So Campbellsville takes over, up 19. And now Lewis Clark State implements some full court here as Campbellsville breaks it to perfection. Pritchett on the right side, backs it out to Pedigo, and Bailey sets up the offense. Pedigo bounces it. Swings it right side for Gregory. Back to Shepard. Madison Shepard. Out. Pedigo with 5. Bounced it out to Rogers. Catch and shoot 3, in and out. And a fight for the rebound. It is pulled down by Johnson, but she dribbles it on the baseline. It is Campbellsville basketball.
You know, and that's just exactly what I was talking about, where she steps in, takes the charge, and knows that it could be a foul that's going to work against her. But that's what I mean by not being afraid. You can't go out there with fear that everything you do is going to go the wrong way. You got to take a chance once in a while. You got to roll the dice. And as an old football coach that I know once would say is that scared people don't win, and that you got to do it once in a while.
Pedigo lobs it into Gregory. They give it back to Pedigo, and the sophomore sets up the offense. A crossover dribble. Got Souvenir out of her shoes. Shepard back to Pedigo. Swings it to the right side. Gregory. Pedigo does a great job working the offense. She bounces it into Rogers. Meets a double team. Puts the ball on the deck. Lost it. We have a tie-up, and Lewis Clark State gets the ball back.
Just defensively hustling all the time.
It's a 5-player substitution. Comes in for Campbellsville. The Lakes are in. Lee is in. And Sutton and McGeorge check in for Campbellsville. Inbound goes to Souvenir, and Lewis Clark State Nice crossover dribble by Souvenir. Dumps it under the bucket. Johnson gets held down on a shot, and Abby Johnson goes to the line to shoot two.
And that's just it. Johnson's the one that they want to try and get open on the inside. She had that velvety soft touch for her first shot from the elbow to start the game out, and really hasn't had a lot of opportunities outside, so now she's trying to take it inside.
First free throw up and in for Lewis Clark State's Abby Johnson, who from an early freshman year in high school started on a Kashmir high school team that went 26-1 and finished third at state in Washington. Abby Johnson hits both free throws, and now Campbellsville will re-inbound the basketball after a deflection. They get it in to Lexi Lake, who gives it to her twin sister Faith. Now it's Lee to the left corner. Sutton tees up a three and missed it strong. But McGeorge with a rebound knocks over Edmiston, and it is Lewis Clark State basketball.
Now's your opportunity. Get down here, get another bucket, draw a little bit closer, and just keep chipping away.
Here come the Warriors. Down 17 to the number 3 seed Campbellsville. Souvenir down to the left corner. Three by Edmiston. Too strong. Rebound tipped in the air. McGeorge picks it up. Lee under the bucket. What a dish.
Nice.
And a reverse layup by Faith Lake.
Nice look and nice finish.
Souvenir double team before the half court stripe. Johnson gets it across. Holm trying to dump it to Edmiston. Pass is deflected around and the Warriors recover. Souvenir back to the right side for Farmer. Out to Souvenir. Rhythm three. Cashes in the trifecta. Her second three of the second half, and Peyton Souvenir tries to get Lewis Clark State back into this one as we have a kick ball right off the inbound. Sarah Muehlhausen checks in for Maddie Holm. Campbellsville's lead is 16, and we've got a foul in the backcourt called on Lewis Clark State.
We have a Division I basketball official in the house, Mr. Jensen.
Mr. Paul Jansen,
Yeah.
absolutely. Native of one of the best towns in northwest Iowa, Orange City. Love Mr. Jansen. Here is Lake, kicks it out. They swing it right side. Lee out to Sutton. A catch and shoot three is short. And it is Abby Farmer with the rebound. Quick transition the other way. Maddie Johnson takes the contact, throws it up strong. And it is Lauren Lee with the rebound. Here comes Lee. Takes it all the way, steps around Farmer, lays it in for two.
Very nice Euro step, I guess you'd call that, through the lane.
Edmiston pulls up from 10. Missed that one a little strong. Campbellsville's lead remains at 18. In the right corner, all day for Lexi Lake. Now it is Souvenir with the rebound. Souvenir with a couple of threes. Trying to spark things offensively for the Warriors. It is Johnson. Dribbles around Lake. Takes the contact, floats it up, and it bounces in for two.
Well, I tell you, I like Johnson. She really does a good job of initiating things. She likes to take you off the dribble. She's got a good shot from the outside, and she's not afraid to go in and make contact to get a basket.
Sutton off the dribble, knocks down the jumper. And it's an 18-point Campbellsville lead.
And if you're the Warriors, you can't afford this now. You can't afford to trade baskets. You got to get a basket and then get a stop.
Oh, a hard pass goes off the waiting hands of Muehlhausen. Here comes Campbellsville. Under 3 minutes to play in quarter three. As Lee dribbles it out to the half-court circle. Directs the offense to Lexi Lake, to Faith Lake, to Lee. Bounces it to McGeorge. Feeds a cutting Lee under the bucket. An extra pass gets taken away by Johnson. Here come the Warriors. Farmer has her pass kicked out of bounds. And it stays with Lewis Clark State. So it's an 18-point Campbellsville lead with 2.5 left in the third. This will be Jansen Edmiston to inbound the basketball for the Warriors. Gives it into Burlage. Edmiston. Back to Burlage. Another pass to Farmer for three. And a little strong. Burlage with the offensive put back off the glass. And a timeout is called by Brian Orr and Lewis Clark State. 44-28. Campbellsville leads with 2:19 in the third. And Collegiate Awards is proud to serve as the official trophy and award provider of the NAIA. Thanks to Collegiate Awards for their sponsorship of this NAIA National Tournament. Well, is Steve, the offense going for Lewis Clark State, they've almost doubled their first half total in the third quarter alone, and slowly but surely starting to chip away a little.
Well, exactly, and that's just what you got to do. And but the thing you can't afford now there's under 3 minutes left to play in the third quarter. Time is becoming your enemy. You can't afford to go down and trade baskets now. You've got to start getting some stops defensively, forcing turnovers of your own, and then turning those into points.
Yeah, because they have been able to force turnovers, but it's turning them into points that is such the crucial factor, and something that Campbellsville has done pretty well. Lewis Clark State has struggled to do at times. And they get it in, and Madison Shepard works it across the timeline to Pritchett. Hands it off back to Shepard. Gives it off to Courtney Pritchett. To Bailey Pedigo. Sophomore guard for the Tigers. Shepard. Down under the bucket. Pritchett with the reverse layup. Bounces off the heel and in.
She's a blue-collar player, man. She comes to work and she does the job. Then crashes out of bounds.
And meanwhile, Jansen Edmiston hit the jumper. Pritchett knocked over a couple of chairs on the bench. Seems none the worse for it. Here comes Pedigo and the Tigers. They give it off to Pritchett. After diving out of bounds, she backs it out to Rogers. Into the paint, throws it up. Shot is deflected to Gregory. And the Tigers set things back up. Pedigo bounces to the corner. Rogers' three is short. Pritchett with the offensive rebound. Puts it up. No good. Got her on board. Puts it up and in.
Man, I tell you what, that's my type of player right there. She doesn't care if she's undersized. She doesn't. There's another steal.
And Madison Shepard lays it in. Yeah, some great gritty defense by Campbellsville. Courtney Pritchett, Tennessee's Miss Basketball in high school. Now here's a three by Burlage, a little short, and Pedigo lobs it up the floor. Madison Shepard behind the defense, gets fouled, and Shepard goes to the line to shoot two. A hard foul, and Shepard looks to be all right. A little shaken up.
Yeah, I tell you, right now, Pritchett's the spark on this Campbell team right now. She has really started a flurry here as far as hustling, as far as going after offensive rebounds, taking things under her own, or putting them on her back right now. Basically, is what Pritchett's done.
Well, Madison Shepard's at the line shooting two, and the London, Kentucky native hits her first. Well, Madison Shepard has family that's pretty solid at basketball, to say the least. Her father, Jeff Shepard, part of the 1996 and 1998 University of Kentucky national champions. In fact, Jeff was the most outstanding player of the 98 tournament.
I recognize that name.
Some pretty solid lineage, and now his daughter proudly playing in a tournament of her own and looking like they're going to advance to the quarterfinals. Now that's a pretty good lineage, if
indeed it is.
You do say so yourself. And put back there by Burlage gets Lewis Clark State a bucket. And the lead remains in Campbellsville's favor by 20. Here with under 30 seconds to play. And Pritchett gives it off to Pedigo. Shot clock is off for Campbellsville. They give it off to Gregory. To the free throw line, Rogers. Her left-handed shot. Got her own board. Goes back up, gets fouled. And Rogers will go to the line to shoot a couple free throws.
You know, I don't know how much time Campbellsville puts in on rebounding drills during practice, but it's very obvious to me that they work a lot on offensive rebounding. They don't stand around. They don't just watch their shots. they go after it. As soon as that ball leaves their hands, they're on the move following that shot.
Well, if you want any more proof here, Steve, 16 of the 41 rebounds for Campbellsville in this ball game have come on the offensive glass. That is remarkable, and that's the main reason why they're ahead right now. As Rogers hits the first free throw. First team All-Mid-South Conference pick this year. How could you not? 15 points, 5 rebounds, an assist, and a steal and a half a game. Shooting almost 50% from the field and 40% from the arc this season. And Rogers goes 2 for 2. It's 54-32, Campbellsville, under 10 seconds to play. Souvenir and the Warriors trying to get a last-second bucket. Gives it off to Burlage with 2, with 1. Burlage doesn't know how much time's left, throws it up after time expires. And it's a 22-point Campbellsville lead heading into quarter number 4. We'll take a break. Fourth quarter action is coming up when we return to the Tyson Event Center and Fleet Farm Arena. You're watching the NAIA National Women's Basketball Tournament on the NAIA Network.
This is how it feels to bank with Prime Bank. This is how it feels to bank with other banks. Prime Bank, other banks. Woo. See the difference? Prime Bank gives you genuine confidence with You-Pick Checking, where you choose your reward, points, interest, or cash back. And Prime Bank's mobile banking lets you check balances, deposit checks, and use all the popular payment services. So now is a good time to bank with confidence. At Prime Bank, earn more your way. Member FDIC.
This isn't your average college experience. These are not average fans, average professors, or your average campus. Not interested in a traditional path? Cool. Neither are we. Interested in politics and sustainable agriculture? Perfect. Let's get to work. Okay, volleyball, homecoming queen, and nursing? Sure, why not? This is a place where you, your experience, and your future matter. We're simply here to help. Morningside.edu.
We welcome you back to the Tyson Event Center's Fleet Farm Arena here in downtown Sioux City, site of the 40th annual NAIA Women's Basketball National Tournament. Daniel Versteg, Steve Bates joining you courtside as Campbellsville trying to finish this one out with a 22-point lead over Lewis Clark State College. And the Warriors are trying to get themselves back into this one, trailing by 22, hoping to keep their season alive. A lot of work to do if they're going to do that, though. Campbellsville starts with the basketball and immediately gets fouled by Rachel Schroeder. Pedigo with the dribble, and Schroeder tried to reach in. So Pedigo will inbound on the left side for Campbellsville, and she gets it into Rogers, who sets up the offense with Pedigo. Rogers gives it off to Shepard. Great ball movement by the Tigers. Here's Pedigo. Curling around the screen to Pritchett. Takes it to the cup. A little short, and Burlage with the rebound. Lewis Clark State might have some numbers here. Campbellsville quickly gets back on defense. Here's a long three that falls for Abby Farmer.
See, and Farmer's a player that I think's passed up some shot opportunities here today that she's capable of making.
And she struggled. She's been 0 for 4 from the arc before that shot. And now Lewis Clark State's deficit is under 20. Here's Faith Lake. Rogers to an open Madison Shepard, who buries the triple herself.
That's a dagger right there.
That's a big shot by Shepard. And now Lewis Clark State sets up the offense, keeping it in play. Great dive. Souvenir puts up a three that's short. Abby Farmer did a good job keeping the ball alive. Unfortunately, Campbellsville will get the ball right back, though. So Campbellsville University up by 22. Again, we'll play the winner of Southeastern and Indiana Wesleyan, which will be our next ball game here on the NAIA Network. That game tips off at 3 o'clock here from the Tyson Event Center. As Pedigo sets up the offense, top of the key. To the left side, it goes to Faith Lake. Back out to Pedigo. Dribbles, bounce pass in to Pritchett. Kicks it out to Lake. Drives right through 3 defenders, lays it up short, and another offensive rebound for Campbellsville. The Tigers just can't stop dining on offensive boards. Rogers out to Lake. Pritchett, another pass to Rogers for three. It's strong. And the rebound is corralled again by the Tigers.
Just flat out hustle. I mean, they just go after that 50-50 ball. They're not going to give up till they get their hands on it.
What a pass to Rogers, cutting the baseline, and the reverse falls.
I see why Pritchard was Miss Basketball. That young lady's just got game.
Absolutely. She can dish, she can rebound, she can score. We've got an offensive foul called on Lewis Clark State. Kiara Burlage, a little slow to get up. Kind of got the wind knocked out of her, got checked to the floor.
I think they hit heads, actually.
And Kiara is wondering how that is an offensive foul, but it will be Campbellsville basketball. Yeah, it looked like some upper body contact there you saw briefly on the replay. I don't know, that was a hard hit for both involved, but thankfully Burlage is back up on her feet and was able to play, but now she checked out of the ball game just for safety measures. Here's Gregory on the right corner. To the block. Gives it to Sutton, who lost the ball for a moment. Gregory picks it up, puts it too strong. And now it is Lee. And Coach Ginger High Colvin wants to slow it down a bit. Here in the corner. Got an offensive foul away from the basketball on Ashley McGeorge. And good to see Kiara Burlage back into the ball game for Lewis Clark State.
Definitely. She was clearly shaken up after that contact, but good to see her back into the game.
Here they come to the block. Abby Johnson lays it in off the glass for two. It's 59-37. Campbellsville by 22. Under 7 minutes to play. Again, like you mentioned in the third quarter, clock is starting to run out for Lewis Clark State. They're going to get something going. They got to get it going in a hurry. Here's Lauren Lee. Poked out of her hands by Souvenir. It pinballs off of Campbellsville, and Lewis Clark State takes over.
Well, there's one part of the puzzle. Now turn that turnover into points, then get a defensive stop and more points.
Yeah, keep it rolling if you're Lewis Clark State. That's what you got to do. Souvenir forced the loose ball. She's trying to force a bucket. Off the glass. Doesn't go. Johnson gets the rebound and is fouled. And Abby Johnson shoots two.
Well, one thing about it, they're determined. You can just see it in their faces that they're not giving up, that they're going to stay after this till the final buzzer, but just a matter of getting things to go their way right now.
So Johnson shooting a couple. First is up and right through the net. Johnson's kind of lived at the free throw line. She's 3 for 4 from the charity stripe, the most free throws shot by any player in this ball game, and she also converts the second. 4 for 5 from the free throw line in this ball game. Johnson has 16 points, and the Campbellsville lead is down to 20. The Tigers break the press. Here's a three in transition from Sutton. It's strong. McGeorge, offensive rebound, puts it up short. Gregory, another O board, and another second chance bucket.
It's like they just come from out of nowhere to get those offensive boards.
Here's a deep three. Souvenir. Oh, it died on the heel and fell in.
Ball started to spin and then just slammed on the brakes.
That's the bounce you'll take. And now Souvenir has 10. Here's a steal. Souvenir tries again and hits another trifecta. Back-to-back triples for Abby Souvenir. And Lewis Clark State's cut it to 16. Here comes Campbellsville. Lee backs it out to Gregory. 5.5 to play. The Warriors only down 16 now. Here's Gregory on the right side to the high post. Turnaround jumper is short, and a rebound by Souvenir. The Warriors in transition. Souvenir tries to get free, skips it out to Burlage, but bobbled the pass. Now here's a deflected ball. Souvenir diving to the deck, can't keep it alive. We've got a jump ball possession, stays with Lewis Clark State.
And there's what I'm talking about. You're down 16 points. You're giving up your body. You're going after 50-50 balls. You're diving on the floor to try and keep that possession. This is a team that isn't giving up whatsoever. They're trying to battle back in this game, and by golly, they've got a shot at doing it right now.
Souvenirs back-to-back triples have immediately changed the outlook of things here. For a while there, it looked like Lewis Clark State might roll over and die. Burridge's three is a little strong. They're definitely not going to do that without a fight. As Campbellsville now tries to extend their lead once more. And Campbellsville will slow it down a little bit, try and eat some clock. Here's Lake, down to Pritchett. Works on Johnson and gets fouled. That'll be on the floor, and Campbellsville will have an inbound after the foul by Abby Johnson. That's her third.
Now's where you find out what Campbellsville is made of, too, because right now the Warriors are making a run at them, and I've always talked about how the team withstands and how they react when the team makes a run at them. And we'll see how Campbellsville reacts to this run that the Warriors have put on them.
Rogers, step back three, missed wide left. Johnson with the rebound. I beg your pardon, Johnson only has 2 fouls, not 3. Here's Burridge, backs it out. Johnson puts up a 3 and connects. And just like that, it's a baker's dozen lead for Campbellsville. A timeout is called by Brian Orr and Lewis Clark State. 13-point Campbellsville lead. This one's not over. We'll have more from the Tyson Event Center after this. You're watching the NAIA Women's Basketball National Tournament on the NAIA Network. The official championship apparel provider of the NAIA is Fine Designs. Please visit www.naiaapparel.com to place your custom apparel order. And Shorts Travel Management is the official travel partner of the NAIA. Shorts Travel would like to congratulate all of the NAIA championship teams on an excellent season. Shorts Travel Management is proud to help these teams reach their destination during postseason play and throughout the year. Shorts Travel, proud to be the official travel partner of the NAIA. And having made one of those trips in the opening round, courtesy of Shorts Travel Management, I can definitely vouch for their ability to get NAIA teams safely to their destination, all in one piece, and maybe help out with a victory as well. Right now, Lewis Clark State has cut a 24-point deficit down to 13 here in the fourth quarter with 4:25 to play, and Campbellsville's lead is 13. Here comes an inbound from Pedigo. She gets it in to Madison Shepard, and the Tigers trying to work it across. Lewis Clark State fouls Pedigo. Peyton Souvenir picks up the foul. It's team foul number 4 on the Warriors, and it is Campbellsville with an inbound. Right in front of us is Bailey Pedigo asking for some help on the inbound. And she does get it in to Sammy Rogers. Lewis Clark State backs off a bit as Pedigo dribbles at the top of the key. Left-handed dribble for Pedigo, swings it to the right side, Faith Lake. High post, they bounce it to the block. Pritchett backs down Johnson, under the bucket, got around her, lays it in for 2. Great bucket by Pritchett, she's got 8. Feels like she's got a lot more than that. Souvenir in the paint, too strong. Rebound goes out of bounds, off of Lewis Clark State. It's Campbellsville basketball. With 3:50 to play in regulation. 63-48 Campbellsville. The 3 seed trying to hang on against the 14 seed Lewis Clark State that made a mini run there and now takes it away in the backcourt. So there's another turnover. Does it equate points? That's the major question here as Farmer gives it into the paint. Burridge, a touch to Johnson, who scores and a foul's called.
Great pass by Burridge, and then Johnson being able to get the basket and draw the contact.
This game is certainly not over yet. We take another look at that one. Look at that pass by Burridge.
That was a nice touch pass.
And through the contact, Johnson laid it in. I know most of these teams have players that played volleyball, and Burlage looked like she was setting up Johnson, literally setting her up. In fact, Burlage was a state champion in volleyball and an all-stater in volleyball at Columbia Falls, Montana. So the volleyball little set pass is still usable in basketball. 12-point Campbellsville lead. Lewis Clark State needs a stop. It's the number 3 seed in the NAIA National Tournament. Pedigo gives it off to Gregory to the right side for Lake. Pedigo with 3, gives it to Rogers. Gets fouled with 2 on the shot clock. And Rogers will go to the line as the Tigers are in the bonus.
You know, if you'd have told me when there was still 3 minutes left to go in this game, in the third quarter, when I said that time was running out, that this Warrior team was going to be able to make a run and get this thing down to where it was going to be manageable, I'd have said you're crazy. Campbellsville's got this thing locked up. They're going to put it away here very soon.
Yeah, I'm totally with you.
With this Warrior team, they're not going to give up. They're not going to let that happen. They're going to make them work for it if they are going to win this game.
Rogers hits the first, which helps the lead a little bit for Campbellsville. And she hits the second as well, so it's a 14-point Campbellsville lead. But this lead was at one point in the fourth, 24 points. Here's Souvenir, bounces it out to Abby Johnson. A crossover dribble, got by Gregory, puts it up a bit short. And Gregory with the defensive rebound. Here comes Campbellsville. Pedigo sizes up her defender, Peyton Souvenir. She's done a good job on Pedigo here in this ball game. Pedigo gets it back from the pass by Lake. Pritchett, high post, 10 on the shot clock. Pedigo down to Gregory, dances around Souvenir, fading away from the bucket, it's too strong. And Johnson with the rebound. Here comes Jansen Edmiston. Had it stripped away by Savannah Gregory. And Campbellsville retains possession and retains their 14-point lead. 2:15 to play. Time is starting to run out here for the Warriors. Out to Pedigo. Drives the paint. Shot fake. Off the glass. Too strong. Edmiston with another rebound. And Lewis Clark State has a chance to cut it to as few as 11 points. Souvenir. Over to Edmiston. Hesitation move. Spins. Step through. Lays it in for 2.
Wow.
What a post move by Jansen Edmiston. And again, we're back down to a 12-point Campbellsville lead. That is the 4th timeout called by Brian Orr with 1:48 to play in regulation. It is one heck of a fourth quarter that Lewis Clark State's gone on here. The Warriors have outscored Campbellsville 21-11 in this fourth quarter, Steve.
Wow, it's just been a flurry of action, too. I mean, they've just all of a sudden gotten determined that they're not going to give up. They don't want to go home yet.
Right. Yeah, it's a long drive. They don't want to make that drive just yet, or a flight, however they're traveling. But, I mean, it just goes to show that you're a 1 seed, you're a 16 seed. It doesn't matter in these tournaments. You are never out of it until that buzzer sounds.
No, exactly. I mean, what we had 1-16 seed in the last how many years win a first-round game in a men's NCAA tournament.
Right.
So just ask Kansas what it's like to have that happen to them.
And in the NAIA, just ask the Indiana Wesleyan men who lost last night, the 1 seed in the men's tournament. As we've got a foul in the backcourt. That puts Campbellsville onto the free throw line. As Souvenir picks up her 3rd personal. So now the foul game is in effect here for Lewis Clark State. They don't have a whole lot of wiggle room. Kiara Burlage has 4. And then Johnson 3. Farmer and Souvenir also with 3 for Lewis Clark State. As Lauren Lee misses her first free throw. And that has been a rarity. In fact, Indeed. That is the first missed free throw of the ball game for Campbellsville. They're 12 for 13. Here's the second for Lee. But she hits the second, so 13 of 14 from the free throw line for Campbellsville. And it's a 13-point Tiger lead. Here's a contested 3, deep by Farmer. Offensive rebound. They touch it to Burlage. A pass kept in play to Campbellsville. Great dribble by Lee. Off to Gregory. Lays it up strong. Lee gets an offensive rebound, and Campbellsville slows it down.
You know, that's what a good team does. They kick that ball out there. They're going to try and run some clock. They know they're in the situation right now where they're in the driver's seat, so they're just going to try and run that shot clock as much as possible.
They got it down to 5. Rogers tries a post move to her left, gets tied up for a foul, and Abby Johnson slaps her leg in frustration, but Sammy Rogers is going to line to shoot 2.
I think the Warrior faithful over there thought that maybe should have been a foul instead of a jump ball.
Jump ball instead of a foul.
Excuse me, yes.
But instead, it results in Rogers going to the line. Now Johnson has 4 fouls for Lewis Clark State. So Burlage and Johnson at the limit against Souvenir and Farmer with 3 fouls apiece. So Rogers hit the first. Some important free throws, but she misses the second. It is a 14-point Campbellsville lead. Here comes Johnson. Gives it off to Farmer. A deep 3, too strong. Rebound tapped around is picked up by Edmiston. 3's up and short. Gregory with the rebound. And Campbellsville goes the other way. And Lewis Clark State, I think, refrains from fouling. Here with 40 seconds left in regulation. Campbellsville up by 14. As the applause comes from the Campbellsville faithful, they take the shot clock down to 5. Free throw line jumper by Gregory is up and in. 69-53, Campbellsville leads. Shot clock is off for the Warriors. As Souvenir tries to find a cutting Johnson, can't find her, and that should about do it. Campbellsville will take it across the timeline, dribble it out, and advance to Saturday's quarterfinals.
Right idea, just a little bit too much mustard on that one.
Yeah, looking for a bucket there to end the season on, but unfortunately Lewis Clark State will head back to Lewiston. But another trip to the NAIA National Tournament for the Warriors as they, well, pulled off the impossible to get here. They defeated the number 1 seed in their pod, Carroll College of Montana. But unfortunately, the trip to Sioux City does not get them a win. Final score, 69 for Campbellsville, 53 for Lewis Clark State of Lewiston, Idaho. The Campbellsville Tigers move on to play Southeastern or Indiana Wesleyan tomorrow night at 6 o'clock. And that Southeastern Indiana Wesleyan game gets going at 3. That'll be our next contest here on the NAIA Network. Let's get a break in. We'll come back and wrap this one up with some post-game analysis from the Tyson Event Center's Fleet Farm Arena. You're watching the NAIA Women's Basketball National Tournament on the NAIA Network.
Marian University is like a home to me.
Campus is where I made friends that I know will last a lifetime.
Academics, sports, or arts, Marian's got something for you.
Plus, downtown Indy is just 10 minutes away from campus.
I'm a huge sports fan. Living in Indy, I've got the Knights, the Colts, and the Pacers.
Applying was so fast and easy.
I went to Marian for the education, but what I took away was the experience.
Marian University offers an exceptional education and an unforgettable experience. Apply today for full scholarship consideration at marian.edu.
Over the years, Siouxland Community Health Center has been a resource to countless numbers of Siouxland families, providing healthcare services. Our mission is to serve our community and bring healing through our commitment to care. We have the services you and your loved ones need, all within one facility that you can depend on. When deciding where to get your care, choose Siouxland Community Health Center as your primary caregiver. Come see us today.
This one up on the NAIA network, the Women's Basketball National Tournament. Round of 16 action. Campbellsville upends Lewis Clark State 69-53 to advance to Saturday evening's quarterfinal contest. They will get the winner of either Southeastern or Indiana Wesleyan. For 3 quarters, Steve, it was all Campbellsville. But you got to applaud Lewis Clark State's persistence, their ability to finish out the game in the fourth quarter. You just would love to have seen more of that in the first 3 quarters.
Exactly. I mean, I think they finally got comfortable. They got their shooting touch going, and unfortunately for them, it came late. But I give them a lot of credit. Take my hat off to them. They really battled back in this thing. Like I said, when there was 3 minutes left to go in that third quarter, or 2 minutes and 13 seconds left to go in that third quarter, I thought, they're done. There's no way they're going to be able to battle back in this thing. And then all of a sudden, some young ladies decided we're not ready to be done. We don't want this season over with. And they started playing with reckless abandon. And they were trying to make contact. They were trying to hit big threes. They weren't scared anymore. They were trying to get their game.